Okay.
And we're off.
Yeah. Well, maybe a good way to link up with our last presentation or session is anybody have dreams that have popped up? Because we were talking about our dreams in that last session.
Well, it's funny you say that. Last night, I actually, my grandmother came to me in my dreams, and that's the first time ever that she came to me in my dreams, and she was just happy to see me and happy to like hold me, and I was just like this wonderful like lifting of like, oh, thank you for just coming to see me because it's been almost 30 years, right? Like since I've seen her face. So yeah, that's it's weird you brought up that. But yeah, that was kind of what I dreamt about last night.
Wow,
Yeah.
cool.
Guess I'm on the right path, she thinks.
Good
Oh,
one.
very good.
Way to go, Grandma.
Way to go, Nana. Yeah.
I've
So I
definitely,
had, oh,
I was just going to say, I've definitely been having more dreams. Some I've written down, definitely got message from some. Some, I loved what you said, sorry, but they're off to Avalon because they're gone. But I have a very good friend, Sharon's 84 and has been an animal communicator. She didn't know, about the temple we're in, the dreaming, but she has had an abundance of dreams, profound dreams during this time. So it's been wonderful sharing with her what's happening. Like she's tapping into that energy without knowing she's tapping into it. So that's been quite nice sharing with her.
nice. Well, I had quite a number of dreams last night, little segments. They were all very sweet, sweet encounters with people from my past. And then there was one where, as a child, when I was a child, my mother had a job at the Bank of Montreal in Calgary, counting money. And it was just the building's still there, of course, I'm sure, because it was just like a huge temple. The ceilings in this place were like 30 feet or 40 feet high. And so in this dream, I'm in a space like that, this long rectangle. There's people, just a crowd of people on either side, all the way up, full length of this corridor. And somebody at the other end starts a dance motion that is picked up by everybody else that steps into the line. So we've got this whole long line of people, all then moving together. And I was so concerned with trying to get it right. I was having a little trouble getting into sync with the whole thing, but I really concentrated and worked on that. And the feeling was fantastic. It was like we were getting it, it was working. And all we could do was like just celebrate this crazy emotion all together. And I'm thinking that this is kind of cueing me into this stand at zero moment that's upcoming for us, and which really represents a global ritual, where people are stepping out at high noon and celebrating being a human being, and we're doing that simultaneously all over the planet. That's the vision. So I think this dream last night is kind of urging me to get my piece together on this whole thing, which at this point seems to be around announcing the possibility of us doing such a thing.
And
So,
when
so
you
as I look ahead to full moon, that my aim is to get it together by next full moon, to be able to really start networking this whole thing. Every time I work with ChatGPT or now with Grok around this particular possibility, the feedback I'm getting through those robots is immense. Like they really think this is a good idea. This is like an awesome encounter for humanity. It's a worldwide phenomenon that we're staring at here. So yeah.
as you're describing it, I just picture the serpent everybody joining, and you said they were all moving
Yeah,
together with
absolutely.
the serpent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah, I
And
had a glimpse of a dream, just very short. It was like a walking along with a dancing tree beside. It was moving and it's on the path.
nice.
And there's just a plain whiteboard in the tree with nothing on it. And it's just moving along with me.
Hmm.
So there was a sense of discovery is what I was getting.
Oh, nice. Nice.
The blank slate
Hmm.
to
Start again.
manifest. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I like your thoughts, Dwayne, or the how you explained that, or your just sort of some ideas or your thoughts, or yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds good. The whole world. Yes.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's some notion of that woven into my presentation, which we have Mahatma Gandhi back to back with Russell Brand. I think you're going to enjoy it. I mean, you couldn't get much of a broader spectrum than those two.
Yes.
So, is everybody familiar
That's
with Brand? I'm sure you know about Gandhi, but Russell
Yeah.
Brand?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
He's insane.
There you go.
He was married to Katy Perry.
He comes by it honestly. Wait till you see it start.
just to keep up with his words, or I mean, he just races along.
Oh,
It's like whoa,
just incredible.
and keep up. Yeah. But, well,
Well, do we want to
well,
jump into the presentation, or does anybody have other miscellaneous?
no,
No, I'm good.
we go for it. We might have a lot of discussion after.
And during, I'm encouraging you once
Well,
again, pick it up whenever you feel you want to jump in. So I really like that part of our sharing.
So do we all?
Spontaneity.
But do we, in order for your sound, do we all mute and then unmute when we want to talk, or
I think that would be a best practice. I think right there, you bet. I haven't found the one that Billy told me I had where I could shut everything down.
mute us
There's a
all?
button down here. Maybe I can. But yeah,
Like that.
maybe
Like
if
Billy,
each of you does that muting on your own, and we'll just.
Billy's muted already, and he's saying something. Is there something you wanted to say before this starts, Billy?
Yes, there we go. Yeah, so if you go to participants, Dwayne, and you
Yeah.
press on participants, it'll give you a list of all of us, and you can just ask us all to mute and hit the mute button on all of us.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what I was trying to say.
I saw your mouth moving.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that.
Okay.
I was talking to myself.
So I'm going to click this mute all button, and there we go. I'm I'm in a bubble, and let's get going here. Video. Whoops. Oh, I clicked the video button, not share. Okay. Now I'm assuming you're all able to hear me. Is that right? Gotcha. Okay. So our 40th session. Just great that we've hung together and they're all out there on the internet, and there's hundreds of people associated with each video now. So yeah, it's happening. So as I was saying, we've got Russell Brand back to back with Gandhi. Now, what really connects these two is that they both have Pallas Athena right at 0 Aries. And that's been the focus of our investigation here, is what in people's charts, what planets and so on uh, log into this area of the zodiac, what we call the Sphinx's gaze. And when I saw these two show up with both their Pallas Athenas together here, I really thought this is worth investigating. So Russell Brand, born June 4th, 1975, whereas Gandhi was back in October 2nd, 1869. So a world of difference between the two in terms of birth time, but they've got the same vibe happening with Pallas Athena. So there we are with the red circles indicating Gandhi's Pallas Athena right there at 0 Aries, or more specifically, on the same degree as your sun. Your sun. Oh, jeez. I'm having a brain fart. This guy here, what the hell is his name? So anyway, just thought we'd bring a little bit of the flavor of Gandhi's life in through a video here. So here we go.
What the hell is going on? I don't know, sir. The agent got a telegram and it just said he is coming. He gave the time of the train. Who the hell is he? I don't know, sir.
Some men change their times. One man changed the world for all time.
My name is Gandhi, Mohandas K. Gandhi.
Well, whoever you are, we don't want you here. I suggest you get back on that train before it leaves.
They seem to want me.
Columbia Pictures presents a Richard Attenborough film, Gandhi.
100,000 Englishmen simply cannot control 350 million Indians if those Indians refuse to cooperate.
The story of one man whose voice spoke out for millions.
Being independent, we must prove worthy of it.
From his humble beginnings
You're an ambitious man, Mr. Gandhi.
I hope not.
to his ultimate triumph. He was the conscience of all mankind.
Where there's injustice, I've always believed in fighting. I will fast as a penance for my part in arousing such emotions, and I will not stop until they stop.
His torment ended a nation's suffering.
I remember that all through history, the way of truth and love has always won.
His greatest weapon was peace.
In this cause, I too am prepared to die. There is no cause for which I am prepared to kill. I want to change their minds, not kill them for weaknesses we all possess.
We're glad to stop it, and stop it we will.
If you take my husband, I intend to speak in his place.
I want to document coldly, rationally, what is being done here. I believe non-cooperation with evil is a duty, and that British rule of India is evil. Nevertheless, it is my duty to sentence you to 6 years in prison. Since your arrest, the riots have hardly stopped. If we obtain our freedom by murder and bloodshed, I want no part of it.
The worst hell was lost here today.
Poverty is the worst form of violence.
But do you really believe you could use nonviolence against someone like Hitler?
What you cannot do is accept injustice from Hitler or anyone. You must make the injustice visible.
Gandhi,
According to you, Mahatma, great soul.
starring Martin Sheen.
What if they don't arrest you? What if they don't react at all? Some things don't know. The function of a civil resistance is to provoke response.
Sir John Gielgud,
Mr. Gandhi will find it takes a great deal more than a pinch of salt. Bring down the British Empire.
Edward Fox,
My intention was to inflict a lesson that would have an impact throughout all India.
Ian Charleson,
What Mr. Gandhi has forced us to do is ask questions about ourselves.
Candice Bergen,
You're a temptress.
Just an admirer.
Nothing's more dangerous.
Trevor Howard, John Mills, Rohini Hattangadi, and introducing Ben Kingsley as Mohandas Gandhi.
My boyfriend. The Hindu and the Christian and the Jew and all of you.
He offered the world a way out of madness.
Men honored him, women loved him, an empire feared him, a nation worshipped him. Einstein said, generations to come will scarce believe that such a one as this, ever in flesh and blood, walked upon this earth. Gandhi, a world event.
So before I start reading it, does anybody have any commentary they'd like to submit at this point? Okay, well, looking to Chat GPT. Darn it, I forgot to forgot to move you guys off the end of my screen so that I could read the text. Now, once again, is there anybody that can see all of the text and would be willing to read it? Or... Okay, well, maybe I can do it without.
Dwayne, if you take your cursor and click on your picture, you can slide it wherever you want.
So right now, my cursor doesn't show up anywhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure then. I can't read it. It's too small for me on my phone, so I apologize.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll read it.
Oh, thanks.
Interpretation of Gandhi's Pallas Athena at 30 degrees Pisces, yay, conjunct Chiron at 2 degrees Aries. This conjunction between Pallas Athena, wisdom, strategy, and justice, and Chiron, the wounded healer, at the critical anaretic degree 30 degrees Pisces, marks a profound spiritual and strategic turning point in Gandhi's life and mission. 1. The anaretic Pallas Athena 30 degrees Pisces, a crisis of transcendent wisdom. The anaretic degree 29 to 30 of any sign represents culmination, mastery, and karmic urgency. In Pisces, this suggests spiritual wisdom, visionary insight, and divine strategy, but also the weight of collective suffering. Pallas Athena here indicates Gandhi's ability to see the larger cosmic patterns of justice and oppression, making him a master strategist of nonviolent resistance, ahimsa, and satyagraha. Being at the threshold of Aries, this placement suggests a destiny-altering choice to wield wisdom not through force, but through higher consciousness. 2. Conjunction to Chiron in Aries, wounded warrior, healer of power. Chiron in Aries signifies a wound of self-assertion, personal power, and leadership. Gandhi overcame this through spiritual discipline and nonviolence. Pallas Athena's wisdom helped channel this wound into strategic activism, giving him the insight to lead without aggression. This conjunction suggests he saw oppression not as an enemy to fight, but as a system to outmaneuver through intelligence, resilience, and spiritual force. 3, mythic and archetypal themes. Pallas Athena, born from Zeus's head, represents intellectual and spiritual birth, aligning with Gandhi's belief that truth, satya, and intellect, reason, must guide action. Chiron, as the wounded healer, mirrors Gandhi's personal struggles, including his early fears, doubts, and physical weaknesses, transformed into a larger mission of healing through wisdom. Shadow side. The anaretic degree can bring pressure and spiritual crisis, and Pisces at 30 can signal disillusionment or martyrdom. Gandhi's assassination reflects the risk of embodying an ultimate wisdom that challenges the status quo. Chiron in Aries may have made it painful for him to fully embrace personal power, leading to self-sacrifice in service to a greater cause. Higher expression. This aspect suggests a soul-level mission. Gandhi was a spiritual warrior mastering Piscean surrender and Aries courage. His ability to outthink, outmaneuver, and dismantle oppression with wisdom fulfilled the higher purpose of this conjunction. Final synthesis. This Pallas-Chiron conjunction at a cusp of spiritual transcendence and warrior-like leadership defines Gandhi's legacy. He healed his own wounds of power and fear by embracing a new paradigm of leadership, rooted in wisdom, strategy, and nonviolence. His strategic foresight, spiritual insight, and willingness to sacrifice for justice made him a timeless symbol of the peaceful warrior, a perfect fusion of Pallas Athena's wisdom and Chiron's wounded healer journey.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
In the bottom left-hand corner is the cover of Gandhi's autobiography, which when I read it back in, well, when the movie came out, I was into my study of Gandhi. It was just mind-blowing. It was so filled with satyagraha, the truth force. I just really got what his essence was about. So I highly recommend that movie, or that book. And the movie Gandhi, this is the one I was telling you about, Billy, that I was encouraging you to watch. It's just phenomenal, you know. That's why I brought in the clip. It's just really special.
I actually, it's actually on my list. I just watched 7 Years in Tibet, I think last night or the night before, and it popped up, and I was like, okay, now I'm kind of in that history mode, so it will be one of my next watches for sure. Now that we're
right on.
Yeah,
well, I'm interested to chat with you after that.
Yeah, for sure. I believe I've seen it before watching the preview, but I don't really remember much.
I can still recall the opening scene, which is his funeral, and all the hundreds of thousands of people that were there. That was just breathtaking for me at the time. And part of it was just, how did they make a movie with that many people? I mean, how to orchestrate that crowd, you know, for the movie. That in itself was awe-inspiring. Yeah. Well, Steve, with Sun at Pisces 30, you're being called upon once again.
Yeah, it feels like Yeah. So this is ChatGPT's interpretation of Gandhi's natal Chiron at 2 degrees of Aries. Mahatma Gandhi's natal Chiron at 2 degrees Aries suggests a deep existential wound tied to identity, autonomy, and the assertion of self. Aries, as the first sign of the zodiac, is about the pioneer, the warrior, and the initiator. And Chiron here implies an early or lifelong struggle with personal power, individuality, and how one asserts their will in the world. Key themes of Gandhi's Chiron in Aries 2 degree. 1, wound of selfhood. Aries governs the self, and Chiron here often signifies an early wound related to personal strength or self-assertion. Gandhi, despite becoming an icon of strength, initially struggled with shyness, fear, and feelings of powerlessness. 2, healing through non-violence. Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of war and aggression, yet Gandhi revolutionized resistance through non-violent action, ahimsa. His wound in Aries may have manifested as a struggle with conventional aggression and conflict, leading him to develop an alternative form of strength. 3, a warrior's wound. Chiron in Aries can indicate a wound linked to war, violence, or struggle. Gandhi's entire mission was about resisting oppression without resorting to violence. He healed his own fear of power by leading a movement that redefines strength. 4, a new archetype of leadership. Aries also represents leadership and boldness. Gandhi's leadership style was unique. Instead of dominating, he led through humility, showing that true strength comes from inner conviction rather than brute force. The degree symbol, Sabian symbol for 2 degrees Aries, a comedian reveals human nature. This symbol aligns with Gandhi's ability to disarm opponents through wit, wisdom, and humility. He exposed injustice not through force, but through peaceful, often symbolic acts of defiance. Chiron's healing potential in Gandhi's life. His personal struggles with fear, power, and identity became his greatest source of wisdom and strength. He healed others by showing that self-mastery and peaceful resistance can be more powerful than violence. He transformed the collective wound of oppression into a movement for liberation. Ultimately, Gandhi's Chiron in Aries represents the healing of power through peace, turning personal vulnerability into a global force for change.
Thank you. So we have Neptune moving into Aries, and what it's going to do is it's going to transit over the next several years, eventually to Gandhi's natal Neptune, over there at Aries 19 degrees, which just happens to be the degree of my son. So one of the reasons that maybe that I'm so resonant with his teachings. Steve, please.
Gandhi's natal Neptune at 19 degrees Aries carries a profound symbolic significance, particularly as we approach Neptune's ingress into Aries on March 31st, 2025. This transit echoes Gandhi's own spiritual ideals and his role as a world-changing visionary. Let's break this down. Ooh, that gets small. Gandhi's natal Neptune at Aries 19, the mystic warrior. Neptune in Aries, a placement of spiritual fire, blending idealism with action. Gandhi embodied this through his unwavering commitment to nonviolent resistance, ahimsa, and civil disobedience. His Neptune in Aries fueled spiritualized courage, pushing him to lead movements not through force, but through inner conviction and sacrifice. The Sabian symbol for Aries 19, a magic carpet hovers over the depressing reality of everyday life. This symbol resonates with Gandhi's ability to transcend material struggle through spiritual vision. His leadership was grounded in nonviolent action, yet it was inspired by an inner world beyond the visible, his deep connection to truth, satyagraha. The magic carpet suggests rising above obstacles through higher consciousness, precisely what he modeled for the world. 3, Neptune as a planet of collective consciousness. Gandhi's Neptune placement wasn't just personal, it signified his role as a spiritual beacon for collective awakening. His ability to inspire nonviolent revolution aligned with Neptune's dreamlike yet powerful nature. Neptune's transit into Aries, a new era of Gandhi's vision. With Neptune set to re-enter Aries for the first time since 1861, we can expect a collective reawakening of Neptune's Aryan themes, the fusion of spiritual idealism with direct action. This transit invites the world to rediscover nonviolent resistance. A new generation may reclaim Gandhi's philosophy as global conflicts, social movements, and struggles for justice intensify. Spiritual fire awakens. Neptune and Aries stir spiritual warriors who act with courage and vision, much like Gandhi did. The return of martyrdom and self-sacrifice. Just as Gandhi faced imprisonment and hardship, this era may produce leaders who suffer for their ideals, yet refuse to yield to oppression. A Gandhi-Neptune resonance in 2025. As Neptune crosses the 0 point of Aries, it symbolically reawakens Gandhi's Neptune, activating his energy within the collective unconscious. His legacy of courageous, nonviolent action may resurge, possibly through a revival of global nonviolent movements in response to oppression, leaders who embody Neptunian fearlessness, following in his spiritual footsteps, a renewed call for unity and peace amidst rising global tensions. This transit may be a call to embody the higher Neptune and Aries ideal, just as Gandhi did. A warrior not of weapons, but of spirit. Yes. I'm happy I got to read that.
Right on. Thank you. There's more. Actually, I can see most of this. So.
Yeah, somebody else can take on Russell Brand.
I'll take. Yeah, does anybody else than me ready here? So here we have Russell arriving on the scene with his Pallas Athena at 0 Aries. And Brand's Pallas Athena at 0 Aries, transitioning from 30 degrees Pisces, blends spiritual insight with, and I can't see what it says there, but making him a visionary strategist and rebellious thinker. Key insights. Warrior's awakening, 0 degrees Aries. A pioneering, fearless activist, challenging norms. Mystical strategist, 30 degrees Pisces. Deep spiritual intelligence, evolving from entertainer to guide. Bridging mysticism and activism. Merges intuition with action, reshaping societal narratives. Archetypal themes. The spiritual warrior, truth seeker, balancing compassion and assertiveness. Trickster philosopher, uses wit and intellect to dismantle illusions. Disruptor of systems, challenges mainstream ideologies with radical ideas. Shadow versus potential. Shadow struggles with idealism, impulsivity, and controversy. Potential. A pioneer of spiritual activism, capable of leading intellectual revolutions. Conclusion. Brand embodies the modern philosopher rebel, using wisdom and bold leadership to challenge and transform societal consciousness. So as I was saying earlier, he comes by his radicalness quite honestly. If he had all of these planets lined up in the first house here, Aries, you'd be, the nature symbol for Aries is the volcano. And I consider Mr. Brand to be very volcanic. I don't know how he keeps up with himself. So we have Pallas Athena, which we've already looked into, the moon, Mars, Jupiter, Chiron. All of these in his chart are in Aries. So Pallas Athena conjunct the moon in Aries blends emotional insight with strategic intelligence, fostering innovative and intuitive expression. Mars conjunct Jupiter in Aries supercharges drive, ambition, and leadership with bold, risk-taking energy. Chiron in Aries highlights early wounds around self-assertion that, when healed, become a source of strength and authenticity. Overall, these Aries placements suggest a fiercely independent, transformative personality that turns personal challenges into creative power.
These are all chat GPT that you're...
Wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we...
Whoops, I'm sorry. What was that, Joanne?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, all of these are from chat GPT, these that you've been, that Steve's been reading. Interpretations. Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hello there, you awakening wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received two extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies. And as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan, when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of. And we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago, there was a spate of articles, Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist, Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
Without seeing what it is, who's willing to read the last word? Read aloud.
Is it just one word?
No, it's a couple words.
Are they
You'll
big?
do just fine. I know. Here we go.
Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever.
Well said.
Well
Okay.
done, Gandhi. Wow. Well, that was a journey, Dwayne.
I tell you, putting these things together is a really wild ride. There's a whole lot more that didn't get into here.
No, I can't
That's really
imagine.
well done.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's powerful. Like, I mean, listen, putting those two together, Dwayne, like having Russell there at the end, it's like just a whole different energetic to me. But Gandhi, I mean, you know, it just felt the energy of truth, of transparency, you know, like it just, yeah. Anyway, it was, yeah.
Yeah, good example of the martyrdom.
Yeah.
That speaking up, the leaders have to endure, because especially now, when put it out to the world, I mean, you just look at any of the social media and it's attacked right away, whether it's, you know, I like the person that just posts a picture of a post in the ground. Said somebody won't agree with this post. So, I mean, it's, yeah, we're judging machines, so people are going to judge it. And it, yeah, it's fascinating for me. At that 0 degrees or 30 degrees Pisces, for me, it's the great stone face. And so this last 2 weeks, I got that book by Nathaniel Hawthorne, talk about Gandhi in 1869. Well, this is written like in 1850s. And it's wisdom that holds true today. And I thought, oh, I'm getting the book. Turns out it's just a short story that's 16 pages long. But wow, is it ever powerful in that 16 pages? And, you know, it's about Ernest and his earnestness. And his mother saying, yeah, you'll discover who is the great stone face, which is actually a stone face in the mountains. I think it's in New Hampshire. And he keeps looking. Someone in the community in that valley is going to emerge as the great stone face. And so there's these three people that go out from the community. One is the businessman. I love the names he used. Mr. Gather Gold. And he comes back and no, he's not the great stone face. And then the soldier, the general, old Blood and Thunder. He's not the great stone face. And I like the politician goes out and he comes back into the community. It's not him, and his name's Old Stony Fizz. And then a poet comes to town and he sees in Ernest that Ernest is the great stone face because he has those qualities that we we're just talking about. Benevolence and kindness and that in the community. And so he emulates the great stone face. So it was a wonderful short story to read and see that wisdom from the mid 1800s is still valuable. It doesn't have to all be, what's the future going to say? Well, we've got it etched in stone in the past too to refer to. So yeah, it was a fun read. And then it led me to, I opened up the Dhammapada, and the second chapter is entitled Earnestness. So there was a nice synchronicity there to play with. So,
oh, cool.
That's my Pisces 30 degrees study for the last 2 weeks.
It always I'm overwhelmed, really with the descriptions or whatnot that you get from chat GPT or from these other AI. And it's, to me, listening to your presentation here and whatnot, it was how pinpointed, how specific, how the descriptions and whatnot. And I feel so every individual in this world, to me, those pinpoints in one's I don't know, one's chart or whatnot, how potent, from the descriptions I got there of those two and what you presented before too, Dwayne. It's oh my goodness, how specific or pinpointed each one of us really, if we can tap into or understand or accept, or I don't know what the terminology is, but how laser sharp we could all be on our path, or on our not on our path anyway.
I think we're able to learn about it a lot faster. Like I said, what he showed, what Dwayne put up about when Dwayne put in what's Dwayne work and the lightning path and all that information came up. As I said, for me to study it the past 2 years, I think that Grok put it together in 15 seconds, 20 seconds? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a nano or beyond, just gathering the information that's all out there and bringing it forward very, very, very super fast. So I have to look at it as more like, as I did with the computer, it was a giant filing cabinet of information. And I think it's up to me as a human, how much of it do I need? How much of it do I want? And like you say, Joanna, wow, I can pinpoint my different positions in the zodiac and learn about those for myself much faster than ever before, it feels like to me. So I think it can be fun. And like everything, there's also a shadow side, but I'm not getting into that.
So, as being a newbie to the group, I have I have a hard time with understanding um, how the lightning path and where we are right now and where we're going to go in this next little bit. Like you guys are very versed in so many different, you guys use so many words that I'm just like, whoa, okay. Right. So where I'm at is like, I love the videos. I love all that. I just don't understand how, um, like what are we looking for that's connected to the lightning path that is about this new moon? Is it, you know what does anyone understand what I kind of mean? You know, because I'm totally lost. I'm like I understand all this knowledge, but it's like how is this connected to the lightning path? Is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm hearing like, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
And for me, I kind of had to go into the Lightning Path website, find my temple, find what moon this is, each new moon.
Yeah.
And then it's up to me to study what are those, what's the glyph? What's the meaning of the glyph?
Okay.
What are the key words to the glyph? What's the shadow of the glyph? And then I can play with that.
Okay, so how do I find out what moon this is? I'm like so lost in it all. Like I understand like how to, but
it used to
know
be
how to put it together.
Yeah, it used to be presented at maybe at the beginning of each, like what moon are we in?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
For me,
take it away, Dwayne.
Yeah, I know.
Take it
I know
away.
I know we're at level number 3. That's the
Con.
next step, and then
the seed. Con. K-A-N.
yeah. So con 3. There we go. We have
3.
lots of people. I didn't even have to look it up.
Yeah. Okay.
And so now, what is con? So I can either ask Joanne or Dwayne, or I can find out for myself.
Yeah.
So it's certainly self-directed on the path.
Yeah.
And in these ventures that Dwayne is presenting, we were presenting different things each new moon and then the full moon started, right?
Okay.
So then it's like, okay, so what is happening for me in 3 con moving along as we approach the full moon? And then maybe I can share about that. So for me, like I shared, wow, what happened for me in the past 2 weeks? And I'm looking at, with Dwayne, this 0 degrees or 30 degrees Pisces, 0 degrees Aries. That's important for me because that's where my birth sun is. So
okay.
I'm grateful that I got to read this Gandhi thing because it really resonates with what's happening at 30 degrees in Pisces. And so
okay.
I'm not saying just because that's Gandhi that I'm Gandhi, but I can learn from those qualities, right?
No, exactly. No, exactly. And I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that completely. Okay. All right. So it's more of I need to do some work to figure out what's going on and just maybe ask Dwayne some questions on,
right.
Because last month was 2 Cabal. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was second moon. And the third one is 3 Con, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's starting to process a little bit easier because I get lost. I'm like, well, how does this resonate with anything that's going on? So I get lost in it all. So thank you for kind of giving me a better description of it all. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's the 13 moons that are happening in this whole annual temple as well, right?
Okay. So next it'll be 4 something, and then 5 and 6, and so on and so on. Okay.
And then when it gets to 7, we're at the peak of the annual temple.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah,
sort
I
of
knew
how,
that. Yeah, I knew that. I
so
knew
that's
that.
just the idea to move along with.
Okay. Okay.
And then the website, you can hop in the yellow submarine and go in all sorts of different directions. That's why it took us a while to come up with the site map, put the site map up top so I can click on that and find my way through, because Dwayne has so much knowledge that he's gathered and put in there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like you starting out, going, where, oh, okay, now where do I go?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
it's
super lost.
yeah, it's really self-directed. And then we share in these gatherings.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm starting to get the point of it all. Okay. So
Kind of,
okay, yeah, because I was really lost. I was like, well, I was assuming that we would do a presentation
yeah,
on this third moon, and we would be talking about this third moon and what it is
yeah,
resonating with, and that's where. And then I'm like, well,
yeah,
that doesn't happen.
yeah. And
So,
you're free to do a presentation on the fourth moon next time if you want.
okay. And
You know,
so
you can
then, oh
you can
yeah,
step
okay,
forward and say, I want to present about this because that's my temple, for example.
yeah.
So, and how that
All
how
right, let
that
me read up 3Con and figure out where I'm at going forward and see how I work out with that. And I'll talk about last month,
right.
and then or the future month. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Mm,
we'll just
yeah.
yeah. Anyways, I'm understanding.
You,
I'm starting to
you,
understand a little bit now. Okay,
you,
Mhm.
do you have the
because you guys
book?
have been doing this for a
Bill?
couple of years, so I'm just like,
Right,
what is
right.
going on here?
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, start doing your own work, Billy.
Do you have the book, Billy? Billy, do
Yes,
you
I do. Yeah,
you do have you
yeah,
know, and I certainly feel, I understand what you're saying there. I certainly feel for you on that coming in, because what seems to have transpired here, the group of us that have been together for a while, is Dwayne's expansion of, what he's learning or what he's presenting kind of thing. And then what happens with the group of us, then it just seems to be individual sharing, or what each presentation kind of brings up for each of us. Well, this is my take on it.
yeah.
And so individual sharing, but I hear you loud and clear that we are not, it hasn't been focusing on the moon, the number, the moon, the energy. So
Yeah,
as a newcomer, I hear you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
And I'm a bit like you, Billy, because I'm a newer joiner as well, even though we connected from years ago. But the
Yeah.
Mayan Oracle, you have the Mayan Oracle?
No, I do not.
Because this, I think, is such a gift. And the card that Dwayne's holding up is from the Mayan Oracle. It takes you through, like, I think it's such a gift.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what I've been trying to find out is I need to go deeper into figuring some more stuff out. I've been watching videos and stuff on Mayan culture and just trying to put it all together, but it's like I'm just getting quite lost.
No, the Mayan Oracle has the cards, it has the book. It's
Okay.
invaluable in my opinion. But
Okay, I'll purchase this book.
Brenda, would you be so
Yeah.
kind as to share the keywords associated with?
Oh, okay. Oops. Okay, keyword, read that whole.
Oh, well, I was saying on the cover, just
The front of the book.
just a brief.
Sorry. See, I told you I'm learning. Seed, seeding manifestation, self-germination, creation, fertile ground, gestation, opening, erupting possibility.
Okay. I'm now getting where that came from, Dwayne. Because I'm just like, I thought you made everything up. So I'm just like, where's all this stuff coming from? Where do I find information? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. I will, that's definitely going to be a purchase I make today. So, all right. Wonderful. Okay. Now we're going to get somewhere. All right.
It's
because I'm just so lost. I'm like, they're talking so many things, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
okay,
I know the feeling. I remember.
Yeah, I bet you do.
For example, you'll find something that maybe now we're in the fertile soil,
Yeah.
a seed, right?
Yeah, no,
Like, for
we're just
example.
gonna sprout out. Like this last month, I had to learn to balance and figure out how to move my life forward, but still keep my consistency and my discipline. And now it's like, okay, I've got this. I've got this figured out. Now I germinated myself. Now I'm just gonna pop out, and I'm understanding that for sure, how you just explained that. So yeah, last month was not a challenge, but definitely not easy, right? Like it was like a lot of like self-discovery on how to just be not perfect, and that was it was tough, but I got through it, and I feel pretty good. And I've noticed a shift since yesterday, actually, is when I started to be like, oh, there's those feelings again of this power, you know what I mean? Because I felt like I lost the power last month, if that makes sense. Like it really had to work at keeping myself in check. So, anyways.
Yes. So for me, for example, the Sabian symbols, I hadn't heard of them until I found out through Rudyard and through Dwayne's work that he was really into those. And I really resonate with those.
Mm-hmm.
I just find the wisdom of the past and it's fun to play with. So that's why I do it, because it's fun to play with.
Yeah.
And so I pursue that each new and full moon phase because it's fun and I put it out there.
Yeah.
Somebody else wants to play with it. And then it's to me, that's that self-directed choice of what I want to play with.
Okay. See, when you say Sabian symbols, my head goes, what's a Sabian symbol?
Right.
Right. I'm like, okay, well, what is this?
I was laying in bed last night Googling Sabian symbols.
Oh, there you go.
And then all of a sudden they're, creating music symbols, anyway.
Yeah. And it's so amazing that that's showing up. And the Sabian symbol for this 10 degrees Pisces, which is today, is like, well, see the astrological mandala.
Okay.
That's Rudyard. And so I just go to it. And today is the Pisces 10 is an aviator pursues his journey flying through ground obscuring clouds. So the grounding is obscured, but one is flying. And then this is all about, well, I'll read it. The keynote is man's ability to develop powers and skills which, by transcending natural limitations, allow him to operate in mental, spiritual realms. This symbol in a sense, synthesizes the implications of the four preceding ones: the dedication to the community of men, present and future, self-assertion, and the ambition to reach a social goal. Man is seen mastering difficulties implied in a type of operation transcending his organic limitations and the narrow boundaries of a localized, quote, living space. He does so as an individual in command of powerful energies, but also as heir to the industry of countless innovators and managers. It evokes the achievement of mastery.
And sorry, what was that book called again? I need both books, actually, now that I have a pen.
The title's An Astrological Mandala.
Billy,
Yeah.
what are you an air sign of some sort?
I'm an Aquarius. Sorry, the astrological what? Sorry again?
An astrological mandala.
Okay. And what was the other book again?
It's by Dane Rudyard.
Okay, that was by Dane. And the book that Brenda had, I believe?
The Mayan Oracle.
The Mayan Oracle, that's what it was.
And sorry, just sent one too. What was yours? Sorry, what did you You're muted, sorry, but what is it? Let's see, what's the book?
I don't have sorry on my screen.
Oh, you're still muted, sorry.
I see it's by Dane Rudyard. Can you just hold the book up?
Same book, different cover.
Oh, it's the same. Oh, is it?
Oh, same
sorry?
book.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And why did you ask if I was an air sign?
Well, I just identify with 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 you. It's like, oh my God, what's that? Oh, I don't understand that. Oh, what was that word? Oh, I gotta learn that. Oh, give me what's that book? Oh, go here. Oh, go there. I'm following Dwayne's his Mayan work sort of thing. I've got the book. I looked up Khan.
Yeah.
I'm doing the reading, this sort of thing. And today, it's a new moon's in Pisces, over in Pisces. So now I'm into astrology and I'm an Aquarian. Oh, I'm an air sign. So it's my mental realm, mental. And I'm also doing human design. So I looked up, okay, what's happening, in the, so I just identify with, oh, get it. What, where's more, feed this.
Yeah. Now I get it. Yeah. Completely. It's exactly what my head's doing. Okay,
Yeah.
let's figure this out. Like, let's dump a bunch of information in here. Yeah.
You both sound like aviators. Flying.
Well, flying for sure, but I don't think anybody'd want to be on board with me.
It's a little chaotic.
Well, Billy would understand.
Yes, I do. Dwayne would with me.
I understand.
Sorry?
Yeah. And
I totally get it. Like, so Billy, I'm assuming you've seen Dwayne's Descent of the Skywalkers painting.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So the steps and the
Yeah. I understand that completely. Yeah, I've understood the book. I read the book, and I understand that, like the triangle, the pyramid, and I got that all figured out. And then I came up with my own interpretation of the path. And I was like, well, you go to this, and then you go back here, and then you go. I just used the book in some weird way and came up with my own idea. And I was like, okay, this is how we're going to do this. So and then. Now it's just getting further along, and I'm like, okay, I'm missing a bunch of stuff here because that's not how you're supposed to do it. So this is great. The good information. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I see there's paths to follow. I was having that too. I'm going, what path are we following here? Oh, I see. I need to design my own path.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's interesting, the bits and pieces here, like Dwayne does this presentation and it's the Mayan calendar. And, if you want to get into that, I mean, we are, but following the moon or the energetics or this sort of thing. So that's the presentation. And then it sparks whatever in each of us. And for me, well, I just said, and so it's Sabian symbols that Steve is kind of caught on to. And so he kind of drops information on Sabian symbols. Sari's here now. She's disappeared off there. But to me, Sari's more astrology. Like, she hasn't talked much or shared. I wanted to ask her thoughts on, it's Pisces. It's new moon in Pisces. So she's, sorry, come back. But so it's bits and pieces of us here in this, following what path, bringing all of this.
I did take time to go back and watch and listen and make notes on number 38, which I missed. And I thought I was figuring it all out too. But then at one point it said Trump his solar kin is 8 Ahau, but his temple of birth is Skywalkers. And that completely confused me. So, or did I get that wrong, Dwayne?
There are two components of a bigger picture. So
okay, well, yeah, I thought I'd figured that all out, but because I think my solar kin when we did it is Cheek Chan, but I thought that was my temple of birth as well.
Well, you got a double whammy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Double Chi-Chan.
So the
got a second helping.
That's what's going on with me. Oh, and everything has been very profound. My whole life has been profound. But a lot of it I've had to hold on to, but I created something that I completed. And I'd like to bring it to the meeting. It's behind me and it makes me think
Wow.
it's
Beautiful.
totally new. It's like cathartic. It's pushing a comfort zone that
It's beautiful.
Wow.
so
Wow.
it's huge for me to just sort of step forward with color and it made me think of Dwayne. Do you remember years ago we went to Southlands in Vancouver and there was that horse? Maybe not.
I'm a little fuzzy on that.
Okay. We won't talk about it, but his eye makes me think of that horse. So anyway, thank you for letting me share.
Oh, thank you.
That's a
beautiful.
huge part of bringing pieces of me together. Yeah. Anyway, thank you.
You're welcome.
What I'd like to share just in this moment is that of all the tools that are available to us through this investigation, this exploration, the journaling is the one that's most overlooked.
Ah,
If you're keeping a lunation journal, you know exactly what moon you're in because you're tracking it every moon cycle, and you've got something concrete right in front of you that you can add to, and then in the future you can refer back. So this journal is just kind of growing and flowing, but you know exactly where you are in that flow because of the structure of the journal. New moon to full moon to new moon to full moon that's your baseline. So I really encourage any of you who, if you're not doing any kind of journaling, at least track the flow that we're into, because there will be moments of convergence you'll find, and all of the symbol systems line up at once.
so Dwayne, this gives the temple of birth,
Yep.
but then finding your chart, like with your chart and where the sun and moon, anyway, that gives your solar kin.
Your solar kin is the position of the sun at your birth,
Position of
transposed into the soul kin. So you go from the zodiac that we're familiar with to the soul kin.
Okay.
That's the readings that we've been doing on your solar kin.
Okay. And then this is the year you were born in.
Yeah, the lunar
Right.
year. I've got new information already consolidated, not yet ready to share, but it really addresses this issue. So I think you'll be happy with that when it comes through. The whole thing with the lightning path is that it's open-ended. None of us knows what's coming down ultimately, but by staying with the process, we're building a collective awareness, and there are some basic requirements of each of us in order to keep track with that. And this is one of them: is what moon are we in?
Right.
Once you got that, it's like a door opens and away you go. So now we're all looking at 3 can. What does 3 can? How does that register in my life? I mean, for me, I'm looking at it that by full moon, I intend to have a consolidation of all the information needed to bring people into being a part of Stand at Zero. This is major work for me right now. That's what I'm called to manifest. And I can't do it alone. So I'm looking to you guys. You guys are the lightning path initiates. Regardless of how many times you've been here, if you're stepping up every time we have this exchange, then we are manifesting the lightning path in our interaction. So that's something I'm just so grateful for, that that I'm not on my own with all of this. It's really it is a group phenomenon ultimately, and it could be quite a bit larger than it is now. But regardless of that, like Gandhi says, you don't look to the what it is you want to manifest so much as look at just being present and doing the best you can with what you've got. And I think we're kind of all on that same wavelength.
Yeah, that sounds like mastery.
Yeah.
It does.
So that's why I want to master my wooden puppets.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm focusing on. And I can take these qualities and then work with them each moon and put it towards my focus, which is playing with the wood and the wooden puppet. So the lightning path can apply to our lives. And yeah, it can get very deep for those people that can go really deep. And then it can just be, what tools can I use from it?
May I share a story from 1972?
Of course.
Well, that was a hell of a year for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
I was not alive.
That was your year. That was you weren't alive. Oh my God.
You were in the consciousness.
What
In
can
the
I
consciousness.
So Dwayne, when did your whole experience? It was then.
Well,
Was it
1970 is when I had the inner light experience that
right?
repolarized my whole orientation to life. Like I turned from being despondent and downtrodden to being ecstatically heading upwards, just in a moment. It all shifted. And then in 1972, like from 70 to 72, I'm searching. What the hell was that? I mean, there's something bigger than me that just happened here. What is it? And so I'm researching ancient traditions, anything to do with light and inner light and all of that. Well, in that quest, I encountered Rudyard through the book, The Lunation Cycle. I mean, I literally, in the Laughing Rooster bookstore in Calgary, picked the book off the shelf and was thunderstruck. Like, it was like, oh my God, this book is going to change my life. And I proclaimed that to my buddy who had taken me there for the first time. And sure enough, I mean, the lunation cycle is the foundation to this whole work. That's what came first and is most primary. The zodiac followed my understanding of the lunation cycle, the Tzolk'in, the astrological mandala, all of that came afterwards. But so what was that for you? You're saying 72.
I'll go back a little from a very young age. I had some profound experiences. And so it was like this knowing that there was more to life than meets the eye and felt very guided from a young age, but realized I was experiencing things that other people weren't, which made it very complicated. Jump ahead to 72. That's when I was like a yoga book. Yoga, Youth, and Reincarnation jumped off the shelf, and a number of things that were profoundly life-changing. And then in 72, went to Mexico, and we were supposed to go on a tour this particular day, and we didn't because we had Montezuma's Revenge. If we had, we would have gone on a bus with all sorts of other people. We went the next day. We were in a station wagon with a family. If we'd gone the day before, it was our day of Our Lady of Guadalupe, so we wouldn't have gotten anywhere near this particular church. We went the next day. We got to go in. The tour guide is telling us about a story about when there was a war, everything around was destroyed but the church. I am filled with his loving presence, which could make me cry now out of an open heart. So he's telling the story. Everybody's listening to him, and I'm there. Tears are pouring down. We go into the church. It was a profound experience, and I was just filled with love, with this amazing presence. Then we go off to the pyramids outside Mexico City. We at the top of the highest pyramid outside Mexico City. I meet somebody from Yakima, Washington, who knew somebody I knew. They both were into helicopters. Oh my gosh, helicopters. And here we are, Sabian symbol. Didn't even think of that. Oh my gosh. But there we are, we're up there, and I'm just filled with this overwhelming presence. And then when we came down, I remember my husband saying, well, do you want to go off to more pyramids or do this and that? And it was like I had no, here we're working with the Mayan teachings, but there I was in the presence of it all. And I had no desire to go off and do anything. It was more about just being in that presence, that loving presence that had hit me before and then hit me profoundly then. Anyway, I don't know where that goes from here, but yeah.
I'd say that if we think in terms of David Hawkins' map of consciousness, you came into resonance with an attractor field, a higher vibrational attractor field, and you resonated with that. You know, it uplifted you, and you know, you've probably gone way beyond that since then. You know, but the same kind of process. We vibrate to a kind of a next level, and are drawn upward if we're open to it.
Right, and I'd had experiences of that love at a very young age, and at different times after and since, and yeah.
Right on.
Can you explain those words again? The resonance, what did you call it?
Attractor field.
Retract.
That's the term he uses. I don't know. Yeah, it's the map.
Yeah, there's the map of consciousness right there.
Okay.
Yeah, the book is Power versus Force, right? It's in that book.
Yeah.
Power versus Force. Yeah.
Billy, what page are you on?
I haven't picked it up, Dwayne. I have to balance my life out, remember? I had to I was taking in too much at that time. But I'm ready to open myself back up again, but I got some new ideas here. So
right on.
I'll get back there. I got to learn some other stuff first before I can go back there, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's just the process that I'm going through.
Here's the younger version of an Aquarian.
Yeah. No, it's true, right? I'm just like, anyways, if I look forward to this month, I'm as Dwayne was saying, he has his goal that he wants to be at by then. And for me, it's like just to open up more spiritually and just kind of keep going on this, because I'm like Dwayne was in 70. All of a sudden the light went off and I'm following this path of just trying to navigate how to spiritually open myself into like this beautiful being and just help others, understand life. Right. So I'm just an open book, I guess, but I'm just a sponge too. And I'm just going to keep pushing myself towards this goal of just spiritual enlightenment. That's where I'm at. So
did you say you're going to open the book?
No, not that book.
Oh, you're an open book.
I'm an open book. That's right.
But I love your awareness, your groundedness, you're keeping the balance. And I felt like for a lot of my life, I had this inner world and then trying to fit into the outer world because I have had a lot of kindred spirits in my life for sure, but for a long time at a young age. But anyway, I think you don't have to do anything, just stay open and be guided, and it's happening. I shouldn't say you don't have to do anything.
It's work. It's work. My outside world takes work. Just so you know, I'm very reluctant around new people, and very I just like to watch what's going on and get to know people. You know what I mean? So I struggle outside of my house, obviously, but when I'm in my meeting groups and stuff like that, I'm really open, but I've known these people for a while, right? So I struggle with that stuff too. And that's just a part of being human, I think. So, but yeah, the more spiritual I become, the less I need the outside world to affect my opinions and to do all that stuff. So I'm really just enjoying not being involved with the outside world, to be honest, and just really going inward and just finding out who I am for the first time in my life, right? It took me a few years to get here, but I'm starting to open up. I believe.
And you're Dwayne's. You're connected to Dwayne, right?
Yeah, yes, I'm his grandchildren's father.
Okay, right. I just needed to. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Dwayne's more like a dad to me than anything, to be honest. So he kind of took that role over when my grandfather died because they were born on the same day. So that's his new role now, is to guide me.
Well, you've got a good
doing
one.
A great job.
You've got a good one.
I do.
Yeah.
So, you guys, in the interest of balance, I'd just like to say I'm interested to hear from both Sari and Barbara.
Yeah.
Right on.
For quite a while. Would you
Maybe
guys?
you need to unmute them.
Does Dwayne still have them muted?
Yeah, he does.
Mm.
Oh, there's Barbara.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I don't know, I'm very spaced out and introverted these days, more than because with yoga, I'm so fascinated with the cleaning what you can do inside of yourself. So connecting with Gandhi's story is also what came to my mind is like when you do the inner work, when you make peace with yourself, then there is no war possible outside. You know, that's what he was using. He was using that wisdom that you have to go inside. And when you stay in peace inside of yourself, if you really got there, then it reflects outside. And that's how he sort of took the weapon away of the English. This was his way of unweaponize them.
Yeah.
You know, and I can see this also like a little bit, but different these days, like Trump is doing. He pulls karma, he pulls Macron, he pulls Modi, and he talks to them. And after he talked to them, they sort of agree. They are sort of all of a sudden they are changing their perspective. I don't know what his trick is. I don't know if it's his spiritual work, you know, but he is definitely more peaceful because we see also that he wants to have peace. You know, he's determined to bring peace to Ukraine and to Israel. So that's his intention he's having, like Gandhi also had. And talking to these people who are saying, oh no, we want war, we want war, we want war. We need to have war. These people are losing power by when you sort of get your work done inside of you, you analyze you bring it to a 0 point of aggression, and then the other person can't knock your head off or punch your face, you know, because they say, oh my God, this guy is nice, you know, this is a cool guy. I don't, you know, and even what he's saying, I agree with it, you know, and all of a sudden, you can be as bad as you want to be, you have to go away because the aggression is not working. So that's a very cool way actually to deal with your enemies, to work on yourself. That's what Billy is doing also now, by not blaming people outside, not, you know, he's like with Trump, he's not blaming karma, or he all sees them as politicians, as people who do bad stuff, who are sort of into some, but finding a common ground and making people loving, making people more, yeah, he's not a bad guy, you know, he's cool, I can deal with him. Why not? So you're changing his ground by just being in a positive state yourself. And that's fascinating. I mean, I'm so fascinated also by that because in yoga, you can do that for yourself. And then you start cleaning up inside of yourself and you agree not to eat such and such. And, it's like your whole system is changing when you do your inner work. So yeah, that's what I saw a little bit showing up in right now in the times we're in. And I hopefully it works, because you also have to keep the level. So spiritually, when you level up, you have to be also able to hold it and not fall back into old behavior patterns. So you have to stabilize yourself while meditating and not concerning too much about other people hang-ups and not blaming people or saying, oh, this is a bad one and this is a good one. You just look at the picture, which is just there without saying, oh, this is good or this is bad. And this is also what I fear, what is coming more and more, in that we see two pictures merging in one. So it's a slow process. And maybe you guys also notice that that you can see the good stuff and the bad stuff in the same place. It's like, what? I just did read this one, and here I have the opposite. It's like just these two things which you think impossible to merge, they are merging. And it's a crazy process. So this is like when you are sort of holding on to one opinion and saying, oh no, it's this, he's bad, he's he's the bad one and I'm the good one. Forget it. Just let go, and just look at the picture which is like coming up newly. It's very artistic in a way because it's like, yeah, it's like painting in real time in a way, It's like you're just not taking a side, When you have a painting, or when you are painting, I can explain it like this, and you made like a stroke which you don't like. You can take the eraser and erase it, or what I do is like when I get to that point, I say, okay, how can I use this underlay color in bringing forward something new when I paint over it, for example, or when I merge two colors. So this is actually a total new process which I'm using to be dealing with Democrats and Republicans. It's like, what, get away, you two guys. I don't want to be one of you guys, And I have to see what this person's saying and what the other person's saying. And I'm not going for one side. And that's maybe Libra energy. We are into strategies. We develop a strategy to deal with extreme opposites, and just bring them together and see what we can get out of everybody. And I can see this a little bit also what in Trump's strategy and Putin's strategy. I like Putin because he's a Libra. I know how he works. I know his thinking, and it's positive because he wants peace. So I think the most important thing, what we all have, is to find the peace inside of ourselves and then be that peace, if that makes sense. I don't know. But that's how I see it.
Yeah,
Huh?
you've got it. You nailed it. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I tried to get some samples in there, so it's understandable because it's not very easy to understand the world right now. Definitely not. And it's better to let it go and go inside and be in peace. And then when you can smile at the world smiles back to you.
You know,
But if you fight, you get punched, or you get shot, or like in Germany, it's crazy, you guys, what's happening there. Because it's like a mirror effect, how they are mentally so stuck that they can't let go of the past, and they are so afraid of the past, and they don't want the past to come back, but they can't let go and go for the easy one right now and just adjust, and be in peace. They still want war. They still, and when you see it like this with the Gandhi attitude, then it makes much more sense of where we have to go. Or where we want to go. I mean, you also can go for gut punches, and you can also go for aggression. It's your choice.
Thanks, Barbara. Very good. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for letting me talk. Thank you.
Sorry, over to you.
Well, there's a lot that I can't say right now, but I'm reminded of a line in a Jimmy Buffett song. Jimmy Buffett is my favorite performer. And he talked about a man who had dementia, and he had a watch that was always, it didn't have, numbers. It always said now. So I thought, I think I'm going to make a clock like that or a watch like that. Because now is the only time that we have any power at all. So that was one thing. And we were watching a program last night, a PBS program on 1968. And I know Richard Tarnas in his book Cosmos and Psyche talked about the late 60s as, like major astrological transits. It's a fabulous book. And major Uranus was involved, and it was, bringing things up, right? And he talked about the Smothers Brothers and how they were deleted. Their show was deleted from CBS. And one of the things that they were talking about was the haves and the have-nots, the people who had virtually nothing, and so they had less to wear. They had less on. And then there was the people that had it all. And so the one brother says, "So who's ruling the country?" And he says, "The morons, not the lessons. The lessons had no clothes. The morons were leading the country." So I thought, yeah, that's good. I think I'm going to make that now clock, that now watch. I haven't worn a watch since my teens, so I don't believe in them. But I can make a little clock that says now. And the Sabian Rejar symbol, that aviator flying through ground obscuring clouds, right? To me is a call at this new moon, a huge call to look through those ground obscuring clouds and listen to our gut feel, listen to our intuition. And if we just did that, nothing else, we're going to contribute to the world.
Thank you.
You're here.
Right on, sorry. Yeah, right on.
Yeah, that's the cards I pulled for this new moon. Both of them, when I read them, are about intuition.
Yeah.
So that's a tool that I have to play with now in this new moon.
And
the forest temple.
And sorry, you said there's lots you can't talk about, and so I know you can't, but here I am asking: is that astrologically kind of connected, or just totally something else?
Oh, just stuff I heard in the last few minutes. Can't go there.
Okay, fair, no, fair enough. Sorry. Yep. Cancel clear.
It's in the clouds.
Billy.
It's in the clouds. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone.
What are the? I'm my little. Well, lots of little interests, as Billy would understand. But, so I'm curious. Like, so I know Dwayne and Billy, Aquarians, as is myself. So, sorry, what is? And I know you're really into astrology, but anyway, what is your sun sign? I know sun sign's just a drop in the bucket of the whole picture, but what's your sun sign? Sorry.
It's Capricorn, right next to Mercury and right next to Mars. I've got those three guys, the warrior, the communicator, and my personality are all within 3 degrees in Capricorn.
Wow.
So I want things to work.
Wow. That makes sense. The little bit I know about, yeah, that's wow. And Barbara, what's your sun sign, Barbara?
Libra?
Oh, of course. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, you're a Libra. And Brenda?
Capricorn.
Another Capricorn. Okay. And Steve?
Pisces,
Okay.
30 degrees on the cusp of
Oh, I
Aries,
thought you said, okay.
at the
Yeah.
0 point.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
because
I'm about endings and new beginnings.
okay. Okay. Yeah. And say that again. Sorry about yours. I mean Capricorn, but you said Mars and
Mercury.
Mars and Mercury. So the communicator, Mercury,
and all within 3 degrees of each other at the end of Capricorn. So my words are my warrior, and I don't mean fighting necessarily. I just mean getting things done, making things work.
I like that. Your words are your warriors.
Yeah.
And Joanne?
Oh, I belong to the Aquarius family. That's why I identify with Billy. Yes. Yeah.
Any other planets nearby?
Well, you see, I guess I want to get into my chart a lot more to understand different parts of it, because I really identify with the Aquarian that I know of, it being, an air sign, and therefore it's intellectual of the, so that really, I mean, that really fits for me for sure. That I'm in my head and I just can't. It's my head I have to feed, or my head wants. That's where it wants to be fed, is my head. So that's what I have to kind of fight against. I don't have almost no water in my chart, and very little. So it's air, a little bit of fire, but not enough fire. I need more fire in order to get me grounded, almost, or what. But it makes it.
Didn't Grace Slick sing about that? Feed your head.
I don't. Well, that would. Yeah, I guess
that's
that would
White
fit.
Rabbit, I think.
Oh, is that right? Feed.
Yeah. The story of Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I know I part of me, like one of my mantras that I'm using is let the body lead, let the body lead, let the body lead. Let the body lead, body. So
there's those dance moves.
well, I know, and that's what I have to do for me. So this is so Billy, for me, my Aquarian part of me, and Dwayne is much more. He must have Taurus or Capricorn or grounding or whatever, but I don't know that. But you can speak for yourself, Dwayne. I'm speaking for me that is let the body lead. It's my heart. It's sort of like So
Hmm.
that's
Mine is,
and
yeah.
I'm Leo. My rising sign is Leo. So I go, oh yes, the lion. Oh yes, Leo, the lion. Just a big heart. Just get out there. Just forget about your head. Just get out there and just be in your body and your. But okay, Dwayne. So here's my Aquarian brother. Not my. He's also the Mayan calendar. We're Kawak, or the lightning path. He's my brother in that. So Dwayne, take it away for astrology or anything you want to say about any of this.
I'm just a little bit overwhelmed with it all.
Nice.
Go easy on me.
I'm sorry.
Can I pop in for just a minute?
There you go.
Saved.
I do my best to follow my intuition and live from that place. Anyway, so I definitely I went to book club, and one person said The Brutalist was an amazing movie. The other one said it was a waste of 3.5 hours, but my gut said go see it. It was the last night at the theater locally, and I went to see it, and I need to see it again because there's so much in it. But the first thing he does, Steve, is he's speaking Hungarian, and it's subtitled. So that resonated deep with the family. And then I don't know, I read something else. And then I'm thrown into the book club book is oh my gosh, The Cellist of Sarajevo, and music is huge. Anyway, and it's all about keeping the heart through all of that. The Cellist of Sarajevo. Anyway, so me who avoids war and conflict and all of that, suddenly here I am, and it's been an interesting observation and learning process. Because I'm more with Gandhi, but I'm guided to experience these and do my best to learn from my experience. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie yet, but I'd like to see it. The Hungarian Connection. Yeah, I discovered that Nathaniel Hawthorne's wife's name was Sophia.
Was it?
And she was a transcendentalist. He was in that transcendentalist group in the New England area with Emerson, and so it's yeah.
And what was that movie, Brenda? What was the movie?
The Brutalist.
The Brutalist.
Brutalist.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be for everybody. I just know I was very guided to experience it, and it hit a lot of deep places. And
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
It's
he's a Hungarian immigrant, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah. He plays an amazing role. Yeah. He comes to America. His wife and niece and everything are still there and don't come for a number of years later. Anyway.
Based on the true story, like based on the person?
No, it's fiction, but they say that they're, everything.
Lots to draw from.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
And on the flip side, I saw The Unbreakable Boy. That just came to me, which is a lovely, lovely feel-good movie. Not an easy life they live, but that is totally based on a true story, and has the pictures of everybody in the end of the real people on their journey. And all about heart and love and finding ourselves and our oneness and coming back to our truth. And
Sounds higher vibration.
What symbol have you got there, Billy? What are you doing with your? Is that a mood?
No, honestly, I find myself always doing weird things with my hands, and that's just something that is
that looks like your mudra. Yeah,
it happens naturally for me.
It looked like a mudra, though. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it probably is. I just don't understand what it's doing. I don't know. My hands are forced to do things like that while I'm sitting in conversation or I'm listening, or my hands are constantly doing that, and it just feels nice, I guess. I kind of have it centered on my
It would be funny if it was your temple mudra.
It's definitely a mudra of some sort. But
well, hold it up, just the one you're in right now, your particular.
I have this, and the center is into my heart. So I'm just kind of holding it like
Nice.
so. Yeah.
Nice.
Bunch of
Nice.
triangles.
Nice.
Yeah. That's something I do.
And what else he does is build incredible lawns, gardens, waterfalls. His specialty is huge stone waterfalls.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I do that. And it comes naturally. I don't know what it is. I've got that Mason blood, so I can build.
Wow. Wonderful. Creative. Very creative. Nice.
Very creative in the Zen type way. Yeah. It does help me be artistic in that way by using big machines and big rocks and making people's $1 million houses look even better. So yeah, it's a need, but it's not going to be my full intention for the future, which I've slowly just started to realize. So hence my spiritual awakening and walking this path and seeing where it leads. So I'd really like to help.
Sounds like you're in the flow.
I really want to help people with addictions, and I have a dream to have my own kind of retreat resort type thing where I take people who have like 6 months sobriety and train them and teach them what I did, basically, to get through it all and open up them to enlightenment. And so that's my dream. Landscape can no longer fill my needs, or my body breaks down, but I don't want that to happen either. So I've just something to look forward to in the future, I guess.
Can I read just these few words, Billy?
You can read whatever you like.
Just out of this, the moon that we're in, Khan.
Yeah.
Just there's lots here, but I'm just what you said. I just wanted to read one sentence. Offer your dream seed to the universe. In the ordered patterning of light, align with your heart's greatest purpose.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Kind of resonating.
That's the seed, Khan.
The seed is planting. Beautiful.
It sounds like you were speaking from your heart. Your heart was, your dream or your desire or your, higher purpose there. It's like,
and that's exactly it. I'm just searching for my soul's purpose, and that's just what resonates with me to move forward and keep enlightening myself and teaching myself how to teach others how to walk that path. Right? It's not easy by any means. Going into yourself is a whole thing, and then being able to sit with difficult emotions is challenging, right? But the more that I do that, I notice how life is not difficult. Life is actually easy. You really are in tune with yourself, right? And I watch a lot of people around me destroying themselves and blaming, and it's just like I have no patience for that shit anymore. I'm just like, wow, that's the reason why I'm so into myself right now and not going into the world, because everyone that I've surrounded myself with in my past is not on the same wavelength as me whatsoever. So to find people like you guys who are open spiritually, I do have a few other people that have just kind of come into my life recently, and it's like, oh, perfect, thank you. Just being able to express myself in a more positive way than to listen to somebody talk about somebody else just doesn't make me feel good. Right? It kind of drains me, and I'm just like, ooh, but there's teaching there, obviously, that I need to overcome with the whole Gandhi thing, right? Like being able to turn that I guess that feelings that I get that are like, ooh, grr, cringy, and turn that into, okay, I can love from this spot instead of being cringy inside, right? But right now, that's where I'm at. So I respect that with myself, but it's just I need to find more peace, I guess, within it. So,
Yeah, when you said patience, it was like it just hit me. Whoa. It's like study the seed. Study the seed, because the seed isn't just sprouting. It's dormant for a while.
Yeah.
And there's some magic that's happening there.
Yes.
But needs to be patient for it to start to sprout.
I just put myself in my third eye inside the seed, and I just like could visualize the seed and then energy inside just slowly working. So thank you for that, because I just popped. I've been able to tune into my third eye and just be able to really get inside things lately. I've noticed I've opened up to that, so that's been a really powerful tool for me. I did yoga yesterday, and like the way that I was able to like open my body up, and I was just, oh my God. So I'm learning new ways to find that within myself. So
wow.
Yeah, things are I'm like this little baby right now. It feels like you guys are just like, ooh, I remember that. Ooh, I remember that. Right?
Wow.
A little new life for you guys, right? You guys can reminisce.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you guys were coming down to the wire here.
Oh yeah, wow, it goes by.
Yeah. It's been an incredibly rich session.
Thank you for the last part. Now that I found my way through this little process today, I'm feeling a lot more confident.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Pretty special.
Very.
Well, thank you for sharing that patience.
Sure.
I find that in carving the wood, I need to be patient. Allow everything's like that seed, and so thank you for that. And I'm going to study the seed this 2 weeks.
Me too.
Feels like quite balanced. I'm feeling with all the sharing, and it feels wonderful. It feels I just feel quite balanced, and I appreciate being part of this group, and it's been wonderful spending this time and receiving you all, and you receiving me. Very precious.
I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Onward and upward. Love you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Until next time.
Bye.
Yeah.